Chapter 14 of Leviticus, Metzora. If we haven't been talking about that for the last couple chapters. Now we got a section called leprosy. And Adonai spoke to Moshe, saying, This shall be the law regarding the person with tzoras. On the day of his purification, he shall be brought to the Kohen. The Kohen shall go out beyond the encampment. The Kohen shall see and behold the skin eruption of the tzoras has healed from the person with tzoras. The Kohen shall command to take for the person undergoing purification 2 live, pure, kosher birds, cedar wood, crimson thread, and hyssop. The Kohen shall command to slaughter the one bird in an earthenware vessel over running water. As for the living bird, he shall take it, and the cedar wood, the crimson thread, and the hyssop, and to immerse them in the live bird and the blood of a slaughtered bird over the running water. He shall sprinkle on the person undergoing purification from the tzoras 7 times, and make him pure, and send the live bird into the open field. The person undergoing purification shall wash his garments, and shave off all of his hair, and bathe in water, and he will become purified. After this he must come into the encampment. He must remain outside of his tent for 7 days. It shall be that on the 7th day he shall shave off all of his hair, that of his head, his beard, and his eyebrows. He shall shave off all of his hair. He shall wash his garments, and bathe his body in water, and become purified. On the 8th day he shall take 2 unblemished lambs, and 1 ewe in her first year, unblemished, and 3/10 fine flour for a meal offering, mixed with oil, and 1 log of oil. The Kohen doing the purification shall place the man undergoing purification and the aforementioned items before Adonai at the entrance of the tent of meeting. The Kohen shall take 1 lamb and bring it as a guilt offering, and with the log of oil, and wave them as a wave offering before Adonai. He shall slaughter the lamb in the place where he slaughters the sin offering and the burnt offering in the sacred place. For just as the sin offering is the guilt offering, it belongs to the Kohen. It is most holy. The Kohen shall take from the blood of the guilt offering, and the Kohen shall put it on the middle ridge of the right ear of the person being purified, and on the thumb of his right hand, and on the big toe of his right foot. The Kohen shall take from the log of the oil, and he shall pour it onto the Kohen's left palm. The Kohen shall immerse his right finger in some of the oil that is on his left palm, and he shall sprinkle some of the oil with his finger 7 times before Adonai. From the remaining oil that is on his palm, the Kohen shall put on the middle ridge of the right ear of the person being purified, and on the thumb of his right hand, and on the big toe of his right foot, on over the blood of the guilt offering. Whatever oil remains that is on the palm of the Kohen, he shall put on the head of the person undergoing purification. The Kohen will atone for him before Adonai. The Kohen shall offer the sin offering, atone for the person undergoing purification from his impurity, and afterwards he shall slaughter the burnt offering. The Kohen shall raise up the burnt offering and the meal offering unto the altar, and the Kohen will atone for him, and he will be purified. If he is poor and his means are not sufficient, he shall take 1 lamb as a guilt offering for a wave offering to atone for him, and 1/10 fine flour mixed with oil as a meal offering, and a log of oil. And 2 turtle doves, or 2 young pigeons, such as his means suffice. 1 shall be for a sin offering, 1 shall be for a burnt offering. He shall bring them on the 8th day of his purification to the Kohen, to the entrance of the tent of the meeting before Adonai. The Kohen shall take the guilt offering, sheep, and the log of oil, and the Kohen shall wave them as the wave offering before Adonai. He shall slaughter the guilt offering lamb. The Kohen shall take some blood of the guilt offering, and put it in the middle ridge of the right ear of the person undergoing purification, and on the thumb of his right hand, and on the big toe of his right foot. The Kohen shall pour some of the oil onto the Kohen's left palm. The Kohen shall sprinkle with his right finger some of the oil that is on his left palm 7 times before Adonai. The Kohen shall put some of the oil which is on his palm on the middle ridge of the right ear of the person undergoing purification, and on the thumb of his right hand, and on the big toe of his right foot, on the place of the blood of the guilt offering. What remains of the oil that is on the palm of the Kohen shall be put on the head of the person undergoing purification, to achieve his atonement before Adonai. He shall offer one of the turtle doves, or the two, or the young pigeons, from that which his means suffice, that for which his means are sufficient, one for a sin offering, and the other for a burnt offering, with the meal offering. The Kohen will atone for the person undergoing purification before Adonai. This is the law of whoever has the skin eruption of the tzoras, whose means are not sufficient in his purification. Adonai spoke to Moshe and to Aaron, saying, when you will come into the land of Canaan, that I will give to you for a possession, and I shall put the eruption of tzoras in the house of the land of your possession. Whoever's house it is shall come and tell to the Kohen, saying, something like an eruption has appeared to me in the house. The Kohen shall command, and they shall empty the house of its contents before the Kohen will come to see the eruption, so everything in the house shall not become impure. Afterwards the Kohen shall come to the house. He shall see the eruption, and behold, the eruption is in the walls of the house, impressions of the greenest green or of the reddest red, and they appear to be lower than the surface of the wall. The Kohen shall go out of the house to the entrance of the house, and place the house under quarantine for 7 days. The Kohen shall return on the 7th day, and shall see, and behold, the eruption is spread in the walls of the house. The Kohen shall command, and they shall remove the stones on which there is the eruption, and cast them away beyond the city to an impure place. He shall scrape the house from the inside all around, and they shall throw away the earth that they scrape beyond the city to an impure place. They shall take other stones, and they shall bring them to replace the stones, and he shall take other earth and plaster the house. If the eruption returns and sprouts in the house after the stones were removed, and after the house was scraped, and after it was plastered, the Kohen shall come and see, and behold, the eruption is spread in the house, prickly tzoras in the house, it is impure. He shall dismantle the house, its stones, and its wood, and all the earth of the house. He shall take it out beyond the city to an impure place. Whoever will come inside the house during all the days of its confinement shall be impure until the evening. Whoever will lie down inside of the house shall wash his garments. Whoever will eat inside the house shall wash his garments. If the Kohen shall come and see, and behold, the eruption did not spread in the house after the house was plastered, the Kohen shall pronounce the house to be pure, for the eruption has been healed. He shall take to purify the house 2 birds, cedar wood, crimson thread, and hyssop. He shall slaughter 1 bird in an earthenware vessel over running water. He shall take the cedar wood, the hyssop, and the crimson thread, and the live bird, and immerse them in the blood of the slaughtered bird, and in the running water, and sprinkle the house 7 times. He shall purify the house with the blood of the bird, and with the running water, and with the live bird, the cedar wood, the hyssop, and the crimson thread. He shall send the living bird beyond the city into the open field, and atone for the house, and it shall be purified. This is the law for all the eruptions of the tzoras, and for the nesek, for tzoras of the garment and of the house, for the spot white as wool, for the spot that is nearly as white, and for the spot white as snow, to teach the law of the day of becoming impure, and of the day of becoming pure. This is the law of tzoras. 15. Adonai spoke to Moshe and to Aaron, saying, speak to Beni Israel and say to them, should discharge flow from the body of any man, because of his discharge he is impure. This is the law of his impurity. When his discharge flows, his flesh drips with his discharge, or his flesh is stopped up by his discharge. It causes him to become impure. Every bed, anything that is used specifically for sleeping, upon which he will lie a zov, a person from whom discharge flows, shall become impure. Every vessel upon which he sits shall become impure. A person who touches his bed shall wash his garments and bathe in water, and is impure until the evening. Whoever sits on the vessel that was set on by a zov shall wash his garment and bathe in water, and is impure until the evening. Whoever touches the flesh of a Zov shall wash his garments and bathe in water, and is impure until the evening. If the Zov spits on a ritually clean person, he shall wash his garments and bathe in water, and is impure until the evening. Anything that is used for riding upon which a Zov will ride shall become impure. Anyone who touches anything which is beneath him shall be impure until the evening, and whoever carries them shall wash his garments and bathe in water, and is impure until the evening. If his Zov touches anyone, and his hands were not rinsed in water, he shall wash his garments and bathe in water, and is impure until the evening. An earthenware vessel which the Zov will touch shall be broken. Any wooden vessel shall be rinsed in water. When a Zov will become ritually clean from his discharge impurity, he shall count for himself 7 days for his purification, and wash his garments and bathe in running water, and he will be purified. On the 8th day he shall take for himself 2 turtle doves, or 2 young pigeons, and come before Adonai to the entrance of the tent of meeting, and give them to the Kohen. Everything's good on the 8th day. The Kohen shall offer them. One is a sin offering, and the other one is a burnt offering. The Kohen will atone for him before Adonai from his discharge impurity. A man, if semen issues from him, he shall bathe his entire body in water, and is impure until the evening. Any garment and any leather object upon which there is semen shall be washed in water, and is impure until the evening. A woman whom a man will lie conjugally, with whom a man will lie conjugally, they shall bathe in water, and are impure until the evening. When a woman has discharge, and the discharge will be blood in her body for 7 days, she will be in a state of her menstrual impurity. Anyone who touches her will be impure until the evening. Every day, everything that she sleeps on during her menstrual impurity will become impure, and everything that she sits on will be impure. Anyone who touches what she has slept on shall wash his garments and bathe in water, and is impure until the evening. Anyone who touches any vessel that she sits on shall wash his garments and bathe in water, and is impure until the evening. If he is on the bed or on the vessel that she is sitting on, when he touches it, he shall be impure until the evening. If a man will lie conjugally with her, her menstrual impurity will be on him, and he is impure for 7 days. Anything used for sleeping, if he should sleep on it, will be impure. When a woman discharges her blood flow many days outside her menstrual cycle, or if it flows after her menstrual cycle, all the days of her discharge impurity be as her days of menstrual impurity. She is impure. Anything used for sleeping upon which she will lie on, any of her discharge impurity days, as the bed of her menstrual impurity, it shall be to her. Every vessel upon which she sits will be impure, just as is her menstrual impurity. Anyone who touches them will be impure, and he shall wash his garments and bathe in water, and is impure until the evening. When she has become pure from her discharge impurity, she shall count 7 days for herself, and afterwards she becomes purified. On the 8th day she shall take for herself 2 turtle doves or 2 young pigeons, and she shall bring them to the Kohen, to the entrance of the tent of meeting. The Kohen shall offer one as a sin offering, and the other as a burnt offering. The Kohen will atone for her before Adonai from her discharge impurity. You shall separate Bani Israel from their impurities, and they will not die because of their impurities, although their defilement of my dwelling in their midst, through their defilement of my dwelling in their midst. This is the law of the Zov, and of him from whom semen issues, to become impure through it. For the menstruant during her period and of separation, and for the one who is discharged, for a male and for a female, and for the man that will lie conjugally with an impure woman. So don't be a Zov or a man dripping semen. Okay, 16. Achrei mot. So this is about the death. Leviticus 16. Achrei mot. And Adonai spoke to Moshe after the death of the two sons of Aaron, who brought an unauthorized offering before Adonai, and they died. Adonai spoke to Moshe, "Speak to your brother Aaron that he has not come at all times into the holy sanctuary that is inside of the curtain, before the ark cover that is on the ark, so that he not die. For in a cloud I shall appear on the ark cover. With this shall Aaron come into the holy sanctuary with a young bullock for a sin offering, and a ram for a burnt offering. He shall don a sanctified linen tunic, and linen pants shall be on his body. He shall gird himself with a linen sash, and place a linen turban on his head. These are sacred garments. He shall bathe his body in water and clothe himself in them. He shall take from the congregation of Israel 2 he-goats for sin offerings, and 1 ram for a burnt offering. Aaron shall bring the sin offering bullock, which is his, and atone on his own behalf, and on behalf of his household. He shall take the 2 he-goats and stand them before Adonai at the entrance of the tent of meeting. Aaron shall put lots on the 2 he-goats. If one goat marked for Adonai, and one lot marked for Azazel. One lot marked for Adonai, and one lot marked for Azazel. Who is Azazel? It sounds like an angel of some sort. Let me see. Who is Azazel? Azazel, a figure that appears in Jewish, Christian, and Islamic traditions, but in different ways depending on the source. In the Hebrew Bible, Tanakh, Old Testament, Leviticus 16 describes the ritual of Yom Kippur, where 2 goats are chosen, one is sacrificed for God, and the other is sent into the wilderness for Azazel. Scholars debate what Azazel meant here. Some say it refers to a rocky desert place or wilderness demon. Others see it as a symbolic name for removal of sins, the scapegoat sent away. In Jewish Apocrypha, Book of Enoch, Azazel is one of the fallen angels, watchers, who descended to earth, corrupted humanity, and taught humans forbidden knowledge, like weapon making and cosmetics. He is blamed for much of human sin and is bound in the desert until judgment. So he's in the desert too. In Christianity, early Christian writers reading Enoch often associated Azazel with Satan or with fallen angels, demons. In the Yom Kippur ritual, some church fathers saw the scapegoat as a foreshadowing of Christ bearing sins, while for Azazel was read as a casting away to the powers of evil. In Islam, the Quran does not mention Azazel by name, but Islamic tradition, especially in tafsir and folklore, sometimes identifies him as the original name of Iblis, Satan, before he disobeyed God and was cast out, a powerful jinn who was devout in worship before refusing to bow to Adam. Al-Tabari and some earlier commentators say Azazel was Iblis' angelic name before his fall. Okay, so interesting. So Aaron shall put lots on the 2 he-goats, 1 lot marked for Adonai and 1 lot marked for Azazel. Aaron shall bring the goat upon which the lot marked for Adonai came up, and do it as a sin offering. The goat upon which came up the lot for Azazel shall be placed alive before Adonai to achieve atonement with it and to send it to Azazel in the desert. Aaron shall bring the sin offering bullock, which is his, and atone on his behalf and on behalf of his household, and he shall slaughter his sin offering bullock. He shall take a full hand shovel of fiery coals from atop the altar, which is before Adonai, and full handfuls of finely ground incense, and he shall bring them inside of the curtain. He shall put the incense on the fire before Adonai, and the cloud of incense will cover the ark cover that is on the tablets of testimony, that he shall not die, that he not die. He shall take some of the bullock's blood, and he shall sprinkle with his finger above the surface of the ark cover on its eastern part, and before the ark cover he shall sprinkle some blood with his fingers 7 times. He shall slaughter the he-goat sin offering that belongs to the people, and he shall bring its blood inside the curtain. He shall do with its blood just as he did with the bullock's blood, and he shall sprinkle it on the ark cover and before the ark cover. This will atone for the sanctuary from the impurities of Beni Israel, and from their rebellious sins for all their transgressions. He shall do likewise for the tent of meeting that dwells with them in the midst of their impurity. No man shall be present in the tent of meeting when he comes to atone for the holy sanctuary until he leaves. He shall atone on his behalf and on the behalf of his household and on the behalf of the entire assembly of Israel. He shall go out to the altar that is before Adonai and atone on it. He shall take some of the bullock's blood and some of the he-goat's blood and put it atop the corners of the altars all around. He shall sprinkle on it from the blood that was on his fingers 7 times and purify it and sanctify it from the impurities of Beni Israel. When he finishes atoning for the holy sanctuary and for the tent of meeting and for the altar, he shall bring the live he-goat. Aaron shall lay his 2 hands on the head of the live he-goat and confess on it all of the iniquities of Beni Israel and their rebellious transgressions for all their sins, and put them in the head of the goat, and send it away with the man so designated to the desert. The goat shall carry away upon itself all of their iniquities to a desolate land, and the man shall send the goat into the desert. Aaron will then come into the tent of meeting and remove the linen garments that he wore when he came into the holy sanctuary and place them there. He shall wash his flesh in the water of the sacred place and don his garments. He shall go out and offer his burnt offering and the people's burnt offering, and atone on his behalf and on behalf of the people. The fat of the sin offering he shall burn on the altar. He who sends the goat to Azazel shall wash his garments and bathe his body in water, and afterwards he shall come into the encampment. The sin offering bullock and the sin offering goat, whose blood was brought to achieve atonement in the holy sanctuary, he shall have removed beyond the encampment. They shall burn in fire their skins, their flesh, and their waste that are in their intestines. He who burns them shall wash his garments and bathe his body in water, and afterwards he shall come into the encampment. It shall be for an everlasting statute for you in the 7th month. On the 10th of the month you shall afflict yourselves and not do any work. The native born and the proselyte is residing among you. For on this day he will make atonement for you, to purify you from all your sins. Before Adonai you will be purified. It is a Shabbos of Shabbos to you, and you must afflict yourselves. It is an everlasting statute. The Kohen will atone, he who himself will be anointed, and who will be initiated, to serve in his father's stead and dress in the linen garments, the sacred garments. He will atone for the holy sanctuary, and for the tent of meeting, and for the altar he will atone. For the Kohanim, and for the entire people of the congregation he will atone. This shall be for you an everlasting statute, to achieve atonement for Beni Israel from all their sins once a year. He did as Adonai commanded Moshe. 17. Adonai spoke to Moshe, saying, Speak to Aaron and to his sons and to all Beni Israel, and say to them, This is the edict that Adonai commanded, saying, Each and every person of the house of Israel who will slaughter an ox, lamb, or goat within the encampment, or will slaughter it beyond the encampment, and to the entrance of the tent of meeting, he did not bring it, so that it may be brought as an offering to Adonai before the Mishkan of Adonai. It shall be considered for that person as blood. He has spilled blood. He has spilled blood, and that person shall be cut off from among his people. So that Beni Israel shall bring their sacrifices that they would slaughter on the field, and instead they shall bring them to Adonai, to the entrance of the tent of meeting. So the Kohen and to the Kohen will slaughter them as a peace offering to Adonai. The Kohen shall sprinkle the blood on the altar of Adonai at the entrance of the tent of meeting, and burn the fat as a pleasing fragrance to Adonai. They shall no longer slaughter their sacrifices to the demons after which they go astray. This shall be an everlasting statute for them, for their descendants. To them you shall say, each and every person of the house of Israel, and from the proselyte who will reside among them, who will bring a burnt offering or sacrifice. As to the entrance of the tent of meeting, he does not bring it. That is, that it be offered to Adonai, that the person shall be cut off from its people, his people. Each and every person of the house of Israel, and from the proselyte who resides among them, who will eat any blood, I shall direct my anger on the soul of him who eats the blood, and I will cut it off from among its people. For the soul of the body is in the blood, and I have given it to you to be placed on the altar to achieve atonement from your souls. For it is the blood that will achieve atonement for the soul. For the soul of the body is in the blood. For it is the blood that will achieve atonement for the soul. Therefore I have said to Beni Israel, every soul among you shall not eat blood. The proselyte residing among you shall not eat blood. Each and every person of the house of Israel, and from the proselyte residing among you, who will ensnare the catch, any wild animal or fowl that is permitted to be eaten, he shall spill its blood and cover it with earth. For as to the life of all flesh, its blood is its life. And I have said to Beni Israel, the blood of any flesh you should not eat, for the life of all flesh is in its blood. Whoever eats of it shall be cut off. Anybody that will eat an improperly slaughtered animal, or an animal with a fatal defect among the native born and the proselyte, shall wash his clothing and bathe in water, and is impure until the evening, and then becomes purified. If he does not wash his clothes and does not bathe his flesh, he bears the burden of his iniquity. Chapter 18. Adonai spoke to Moshe, saying, speak to Beni Israel, and say to them that I am Adonai your God. After the practice of the land of Egypt, in which you lived, you shall not do, and the practice of the land of Canaan, to which I am bringing you, you shall not do, and you shall not follow their statutes, customs. You shall fulfill my laws, and you shall keep my statutes to follow them. I am Adonai your God. You shall keep my statutes and my laws, which if a man obeys, he shall live through them. I am Adonai. Each and every person, to any of his close kin, you shall not approach to uncover their nakedness. I am Adonai. The nakedness of your father and the nakedness of your mother you shall not uncover. She is your mother. You shall not uncover her nakedness. The nakedness of your father's wife you shall not uncover. It is your father's nakedness. Understand what I'm talking about, Reuben? The nakedness of your sister, whether she is your father's daughter or your mother's daughter, whether she is born in the house or she is born outside, you shall not uncover their nakedness. The nakedness of your son's daughter or your daughter's daughter, you shall not uncover their nakedness, for their nakedness is your own. The nakedness of the daughter of your father's wife, she is born to your father, she is your sister, you shall not uncover her nakedness. The nakedness of your father's sister you shall not uncover, she is your father's kin. The nakedness of your mother's sister you shall not uncover, for she is your mother's kin. The nakedness of your father's brother you shall not uncover, you shall not approach his wife, she is your aunt. The nakedness of your daughter-in-law you shall not uncover, she is your son's wife, you shall not uncover her nakedness. The nakedness of your brother's wife you shall not uncover, it is your brother's nakedness. The nakedness of a woman and her daughter you shall not uncover, the daughter of her son and the daughter of her daughter you shall not take or uncover her nakedness, they are kin, it is lewdness. You shall not take a woman and her sister to vex her, to uncover her nakedness with the other in her lifetime. To a woman well in her menstrual impurity you shall not approach to uncover her nakedness. With your friend's wife you shall not lie carnally to defile yourself through her. You shall not hand over any of your children to be passed through the worship of Molech, and you shall not defile the name of your God. I am Adonai. You shall not be with a male conjugally, as one lies with a woman. It is an abomination. Together with any animal, you shall not lie conjugally to defile yourself with it. A woman shall not stand before an animal to copulate with it. It is a defilement. Do not defile yourselves in any one of these ways, for in all of these ways the nations have been defiled, those that I am driving away from before you. The land became defiled, and I judged its iniquities upon it, and the land expelled its inhabitants. You shall adhere to my statutes and to my laws, and do not do any of these abominations, both the native born and the proselyte who resides among you. For all of these abominations were done by the people of the land who came before you, and the land became defiled, so that the land not expel you when you defile it. It is as expelled the nation before you. For anyone who will do any of these abominations, their souls shall be cut off, those who do these things from among their people. You shall keep watch. You shall keep my watch that you shall not do any of the abominable customs that were done before you, and you will not defile yourselves through them. I am Adonai, your God.